The bin GPU looks like it's like 2100 in Port Royal, 21.5 gigabits per second of memory. 3080 Strix White, bro, this ain't no joke. This card is not a joke. Right now, got my CPU, 5.6 gigahertz, 1.4 volts, quite heavy. RAM is 7200. Similar to my daily profile, but just a bit tightened on the timings. TRFC is jacked up, TRFC is flawed, 90 nanoseconds TRFC, so this is right now running as aggro as I can. I'm trying to get the number one 3080 on earth. I doubt I'll make it, but I'm giving it a shot. Let's see how it goes. Let's check the score right now. This will be max. I think I might try another run at 180, offset the clock, maybe try and push for like 2130 megahertz. That would be kind of ridiculous, but we'll see. So right now we're just going stupid. I'm doing this because I haven't really done much like actual OC content, right? And wow, if I'm not wrong, that's number one with a 13700K and a 3080. So I'm gonna clock that score in, but I might not beat this, to be honest. So I don't want to show the settings right now because I kind of don't want to open the apps up. So yeah, let me just try a 180 run. It's worth the go, right? Worth the go. 180. We're not messing with the memory clock because this card can be 1250 pretty easy, which is a blessing because that's almost never the case on any card. So we're gonna wait a minute, wait a second, give it some time to rest, and just cool down a bit, and we're just gonna hit it right now. Let's go. I haven't done much OCing content on this channel at all, and yeah, that's how I do it. Is you just this. I have two massive fans blowing at max speed, windows open. CPU is always running slightly above what I daily, but I daily 5.4, but yeah, so right now 1.4 volts, 5.6 is not something I would daily, but it's short burst, so it's no problem. Plus this is low load. It's nothing like burn test or Y crunch or anything crazy like that, so it's completely safe. For like, you know, an hour or two you want to benchmark, it's all good. It's not something you'd run like, you know, long term, but you know, you could run it for an hour, so it wouldn't make much difference. And that just crashed 2160, crashed it. Okay, so Port Royal capped out at 165, so that result we got was max. So your 180 ain't gonna happen, so we're gonna drop down to 165. Speed Racer actually ran at 155. It couldn't do more than 155, so we're gonna wait for the card to cool down a bit, and then we'll do Time Spy Extreme. So Time Spy Extreme will be one of the harder tests to run, and this is also going to stress the CPU as well, so there's a chance the CPU can crash, but we're going to give it a go. This is probably the hardest test to run, so let's just see what it does. I'm going to try and stay a bit back because I think EMF can interfere a little bit, not like crazy, but it can interfere. I want to give the card as much air as possible, plus, you know, human bodies output some heat as well, so I don't want to heat up the air, as dumb as that might sound. I'm blocking the air and I'm just, you know, I'm heating up the air. I'm just, you know, wasting space. So just sitting back, and we'll see how this runs. I think at 165 offset this will run maybe 2100. You know, and I'm just gonna pray the CPU doesn't crash or the RAM because Time Spy is heavy. So as you can see, that's Time Spy Extreme at 2145 on a 3080. So yeah, this is serious. This is really impressive. So it's not something you see every day. This voltage right now is like just a smidge above 1 volt. The card is it's going to get quite warm during the test. It's going to maybe hit ADC, and that crashed. Okay, so 150 is it. By the way, these aren't dailyable. You wouldn't pass Fire Strike at these kinds of offsets. The reason why it gives offsets is because the test is running quite hard. So I'm going to do 155 again. And if you want to know why I do 155 and not 150, it's because even though NVIDIA does 15 megahertz speed bins, if you do a 5 megahertz up, right, it's gonna hit the next speed bin every then so often. So the closer you get to the next speed, which is 165, the less stable you become. So if you crash at 165, you can get by on 155, right? Perhaps, but at 160 you might crash as well. So it's a balance of getting the card like stable enough to run, and then not having like memory errors and stuff as a result of the core destabilizing, which it does happen. If your core destabilizes enough, it can destabilize the memory as well. Probably the uncore is what's responsible there. But yeah, so this is maybe going to run a 155. So I think 2130 was just a bit too high for Time Spy Extreme, which makes total sense because again, Time Spy Extreme is not, it's not easy. The card right now is 100% as well, fan speed standard. I mean, you would do that, but obviously I don't advise daily again, guys. CPU coolers max, everything's maxed out right now. Daily you would not run your fans maxed out. It's bad for longevity. But again, like I said, for half an hour of benchmarking fun, go for it. Half an hour is not going to harm. It's not going to harm it any more than whatever. If you run it, properly throughout its lifespan, half an hour on one single day in the entirety of the component's lifespan is not going to be a detriment. It's not going to cause much harm. But make sure you don't spend too much time benchmarking with these kinds of settings. It's not good. You want to try and get your best results snappy, quick, just as fast as you can. Get your best results, then get out. And because generally speaking, once stuff like the liquid heats up, and once the room's gonna heat up as well. What's being pumped in the room right now. So over time, you're actually gonna get less stable. So yeah. Crash. Okay. So Time Spy is not happy. It wants to do maybe 140. So we'll drop to 140 because even 150 it's not going to be stable. We'll try 145 and maybe even 142. Right. That might do it. That very well might do it. So I'm just going to open up here real quick. I just want to delete these scores. Now I want to show you guys something as well. I want to show you guys that as you can see, it's actually gonna, okay, it didn't load, interesting. Okay, let me actually go 140, properly 140. Still want to pause it, I don't want to be on these voltages too long. So I want to show you guys real quick, just quick on Speedway. So as you can see, this is scaling. So as you can see, from 4928 all the way up, it scales with memory jumps and then core clock. How you know your memory is stable usually is when you get these nice like significant uplifts every time you up the memory, right? Plus no artifacts, standard. And so for curiosity, I'll show you the RAM timings real quick. And this is 1.6 volts obviously, so just have this and then 324, and then per bank is 306. So that's 85 nanoseconds per bank, 90 on TRFC1, 135 CTRFE. So yeah, so we're gonna hit it, and just go. I want to get this to run stable, spit out a result real quick. I wonder how loud I am right now. I might just be like too soft even here because the fans are too loud, but yeah. So you guys wonder what happened. I sold my 90 FE. I was actually considering buying a 4090, and then I was like, let me wait a month and just buy the AMD card. And then I did some research and I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna go down 3080 because, to be honest, 3080s right now are probably one of the best value components ever, especially when you snipe a bin like this or something like that. Or if you, well, I initially bought this card because it's pretty, and then I started messing around with it and I was like, holy moly, this card actually has a bin. And when I touch a bin, I have to go OC. When I touch a bin sample, I have to OC. This thing is exceptional. Like when I get the privilege to touch silicon like this, I have to max OC it regardless. I just have to do it. I've got to go full out. I've just got to max the fans, everything, get the fans out, make sure it's nighttime, make sure the windows are open, drag the RAM up, drag the CPU up, and just go for it. Just see what I can hit. Just give the component its like you know, like you know, just a stand. Like give it a showcase. You know, give it a go. It's GG test 2 now. This is gonna get really hard. So this is the one where you could crash very easily. I'm not concerned about the memory clock, surprisingly, even though this is usually the concern on this test. But memory seems to actually be able to do more than this, so I'm pretty confident it's not going to crash the memory. But the core is what I'm scared about. However, it's right now doing 2010 megahertz at about 1 volt. It is hitting a power limit, surprisingly, which makes me think you would actually do well to shunt mod a card to get TimeSpy GT2 to run well. Yeah, this test is heavy, but it's passing, and we're almost done with TimeSpy. So right now, the last straw is CPU physics. So when I do physics, I'm gonna actually show you guys the CPU temp on my BIOS. Oh, I'm being dumb. There's CPU temp right here. So at 1.4 volts, we're gonna see how much the CPU climbs to on TimeSpy physics, and only reason being that at 1.4 volts, with the V-droop setting I have on like 50 millivolts, we should see 1.35 at load. But with TimeSpy extreme physics score test, it might not be that much, to be honest. Like I mean, this is the heaviest CPU test in all of 3DMark, but let's see how it goes. Let's just see how it goes. I think it'll be fun. So let me just step back. Don't blue screen, please don't blue screen, please don't. Don't blue screen. Okay. Oh, 78C, 90C. Oh, 80C. It's good. We're good. We Gucci, boys, we Gucci. Oh yes. Oh yes, we're Gucci. Oh, we're Gucci, 78C. Oh, we're Gucci, bro. Easy. Light work. That ain't nothing, bro. Damn. Optic is putting in work right now, bro. Yo, I know we solid, bro. We solid. We outro, dude. Easy. Okay. And that, like I said, it's going to be our best run, because the likelihood we're going to end up getting a better run than this by messing with clocks more is low in my experience. It's just not going to happen. Legendary. Hey, we got it. So let's save that. TimeSpy Extreme. TimeSpy Extreme. My friend JD's actually happy with this video because he wanted me to benchmark this the CPU and RAM setup. TimeSpy Extreme. Okay. Portrayal Speedway TimeSpy Extreme. Okay, so we're gonna give it a second, rest it a bit, and general rule of thumb, guys, is the less hard the test, the lower the clocks, because the lower the load, the easier to boost your max clock. Therefore, you will crash faster. That's it. That's rule of thumb, right? So we hit TimeSpy Extreme. We're gonna hit. I think we'll do a 5-stroke ultra. I think we'll do a 5-stroke ultra. I want to see a 5-stroke ultra. Let's go. We'll do a. You know what? Actually, I want to try 5-stroke ultra with slightly higher clocks. Let's see how much we can do a 5-stroke ultra, because 5-stroke ultra might actually be capable of doing, like, let me actually try, guys. Try 165. Yeah, I cancelled it, don't worry. That didn't crash, I cancelled it. I'm gonna try 165. I'm gonna give it a go. I think we can do 165, honestly. So let's go here. Oh shit, man. Results. So this was one. I usually do this when I label, so I'll do like come here. Oh, I didn't label it. Damn it. Okay. Shit. Ah, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway. Ah, man, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I wanted to show the scaling, but I'm gonna delete these because it's a waste of my space. Usually I just keep the highest result. I don't really worry with like the other ones, like the progress results or whatever. I don't care. Plus I have this documented now, so it's all good. Just one of the benefits of actually doing YouTube is you can document stuff. So for example, if I'm selling a GPU or a kit of RAM, whatever, I can link a video and it's not arguable. You can't really argue a video. So yeah. So right now, this was our daily OC done. Speedway was 5149, Port Royal, and then times by extreme. So we're gonna see what we can do in Fire Strike now. We just check some stuff. I want to make sure I can close some things. Nothing I can close. Seems like we're good. Okay, cool. So it's about as cold as it's gonna get. So let's try Fast Ultra now. I'm hoping I can do something, guys. Like I'm hoping I can like get some, you know, some decent results. I'm not gonna check. I'm just gonna hit the benchmarks, do the best I can, and then once we're done, and I can, you know, once I reload my normal daily stuff and my safe settings, I will analyze the results and make a follow-up video, just like, you know, showing what we did. This is basically just a fun, rough testing kind of ghetto style video that I usually make. So I'm going to show you guys the clocks, obviously, so let me just do that. Just gonna... Hello? No? That's not helpful at all. Okay. Whatever. And it crashed. Okay, 165 is too high. Cool. So that's what I wanted to see. Just wanted to see a crash because then I can do this. Go straight for 155 and be confident we're not wasting our time. Like Bullzoid says, and I completely agree. It's better to go high first, then come down. Because if you go low and you keep building up, you're wasting your time running. You're better off crashing early, knowing what it can't do, and just moving the hell on. That's the key with benchmarking is, you know, do what you think you can do, get your crash, try to make sure it's not a hard crash. If it's a hard crash, it's a bit crappy because you have to like repair windows and check the drivers, and maybe the drivers corrupt. You know, with Radeon, drivers corrupt all the time. If you're OCing with Radeon cards, my goodness, it is a nightmare, especially when you have a Ryzen CPU. Oh my goodness, dude. Because when the Radeon drivers corrupt, the chipset drivers can corrupt. And if the Radeon drivers corrupt, the chipset drivers don't corrupt, DDUing the Radeon drivers inevitably ends up conflicting with the chipset drivers. Even if you try and like not mess with them, it's just... Oh wow, look at that. 2130 for a second. You guys didn't see it, but I actually didn't get it quick enough. But yeah, 2130 for a second. This is gonna hit up nicely. I wish I could water cool this card, because my goodness, if I water cool this card, it would do 2200 megahertz easy. This is a chef's kiss sample. This is beautiful. This is like Asus Strix binning at best. Like the Asus Strix do bin their GPUs. However, this is OC. Let me make it very clear. The OC Strix cards are good. The non-OC Strix cards, on the other hand, those may or may not be the silicon from the back of the fab, or like the silicon that's like chucked in the bin in the back of the fab, or like the silicon, you know, like literally like fucking fished out of the dustbin outside the fab. Like those are like the dies that are just barely made. Like, oh, you know, this is technically a 3080. It's technically a 3080. It's barely a 380, but it's 380. So have it, put it in your board, and then they put it in the board. You got a nice beautiful cooler, you got the VRM, you got everything, and the thing can't clock for shit. The thing clocks to like 1950 megahertz, bro. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys know what I mean. You know, you buy like a Strix card, you know, thinking, oh, it's gonna be a great sample, and then it's like, what the hell is this thing, dude? This is pathetic. It's like, that's a non-OC. It happens. It can happen. By the OC, you tend to get better silicon. I'm just gonna say that much. I'm not going to touch the overlay right now because you guys don't really have to see the clocks during this physics test. This is physics as well. Notice how it's running at like 6874 CR, because I mean, this is like, I mean, that's like a physics test. That's barely a physics test. I mean, even at 1.35 volts, it's not even a problem. So yeah, and if anyone wants to say like, oh, it's dangerous, it's not dangerous. Like, relax. 1.35 volts is like what? Maybe like, if I had to guess, like 130 amps or something, because it would not be running. It would not be running 74C if it wasn't like maybe 200 watts at max, maybe like 190 watts. I mean, my cooler cannot do 200 watts, or any more than 200 watts, like 65C. Like, the moment you're 250 watts in this cooler, you're hitting like 85C. The moment you're at like 300 watts, you're at like 95C. So, if I was at 95C, I would be a little bit more concerned with the CPU, especially with time by extreme. If I was at 95C times by extreme, I would have been like, shit, man. Been like, that's rough times. Okay, so our max fire strike was 12,719. Ultra, sorry. Ultra. So oh, hard to type with one hand. Okay, that's fire strike ultra done. Okay, now the next, so Speedway's hardest here. Port Royale's next hardest, then this one. This one is like the fourth hardest. Now we've got these three left. This one. These are the easy ones, but they're going to require significantly less clock speed. So we're going to try 150 on time spy. It's probably not going to run, but let's see. Let's give it a go. If this runs 150, I'm happy, because what was time spy extreme, like 140? So if this runs 150, I'm going to be, oh no, that's stupid. What am I doing? Oh no. Whoa. Time spy extreme ran 140. This will run like 130. Yeah, 130, because it's going to be less load. 130 is maybe the most we can do on this. 130 should be respectable. I don't expect to get more than like 130 out of it. Maybe 140. I don't know, man. This time spy extreme was 140. The fire strike, Speedway, and Port Royale did much higher than time spy extreme. Weird. But anyway, yeah, so we're 2100 megahertz right now. I don't foresee this doing much higher. Yeah, I'm gonna assume 130 is it. So we were at 140 for time spy extreme. Time spy standard is definitely gonna run a lower offset than extreme, because it's just not as heavy as of a test. So it could potentially clock to like 2160, you know, at stupid points. So that's not gonna happen. So yeah, if this does run, I might not. You know what? There is no way it's running a higher clock than time spy extreme. Offset, I mean, because it's going to clock higher then. There's no way. 140 may or may not work. So time spy extreme's 140 may or may not work. But this is not as a heavy test, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense. But I think this at 130 might be the best it can do. 135 might be doable, but I feel like it's a waste of time at that point. Because with 5 megahertz, man, you're talking like, you know, 5-10 points. I don't even know, dude. Like 5 megahertz, dude. 5 megahertz, right? 5 megahertz. As you can see already, man, it's running like, it was running 2055 there for a second. It was running at like 1980 with time spy extreme. So yeah, like, this is about the best it can do. Because imagine I had clocked this higher, dude. Like, so yeah, like, this is probably the best it can do. I don't feel like there's any point wasting time rerunning it, if I'm honest. And I could, but I don't really feel like it. This is already nice and long. At least this is full HD. Overclock with me, boys. Overclock with me. Yay. That ran fast. Okay, I'm done. I'm happy. The clocks looked good there. I'm happy. Hit 2100 briefly on GT1. So yeah, that's about what we're doing. Honestly, there's no way we're beating this. Like I said, boys, in and out, in and out. Don't beat around the bush. You don't have to, you know, rerun your benchmark 5 billion times. You know, in out. Just do it. Done. Finished. Move on. Right. So Done. Okay, so we just have 5-strike and extreme. So for extreme, we can try cheeky 135. You know what I'm saying? We can try cheeky 135, see if it runs. It's not going to run, but let's try. I can already tell you right now, 5-strike normal is not going to do more than 120, but yeah. Let's move on, let's do this. Get this done. This might run 135, maybe. You never know. The cheeky 135. It's going to boost to like 2115. Trust me. Bad sign. No, oh, there we go. Check. So tell me what would happen if we clocked to 150 or something. What would happen? 2130 megahertz? Even there, check. So even at 20, just around 2100 at 135, this test is not heavy enough. It's boosting way too far. It's trying to consistently boost to 2115. The temperature plus the power headroom is not limiting it enough. When you have a heavier test, a heavier video game, the power limit and the temperature limit, the algorithms within the cards like VBIOS, the drivers, will dynamically downclock you and basically prevent the crash. Not intentionally, but because you're hitting ceilings. When you have a benchmark so light, like 5-strike extreme, compared to time spy, all of a sudden even 135 is not doable. Why? Because you're trying to clock way too high, just unreasonably high, right? So we might need a 125, and 125 might be enough. I'm not even going to let the card cool down further, because the colder it is, the higher clocks, and right now we're not actually being serviced by higher clocks, because the higher clocks right now, if it is 2115 too often again, it's going to crash. So we need this to hit like 2100. You know, it needs to brush 2115 every then so often, right? Every few frames, but you want to try and keep it down to where it can actually stabilize. Like, I'm confident this will do 125. 135, no way. 130, maybe not either. 125 it should be doable, because I know 120 can be done on 5-strike regular. So surely if 5-strike regular does 120, I'm pretty confident this will run 125. As you can see, there we go. We're sitting at most 2100. That's what we want. We want to be 2100 around these scenes, because around this scene, when you're at 2115, you crash. So I'm gonna drop 2070 actually there for a second. 2085, and we're good. We're through. So we're through pass 1. This pass is actually a bit lighter. I've seen 2160, so let's see if we get 2160 on this. I saw 2160 on a pallet card, on a 3080i. So let's see if this runs 2160, sorry. So it's around one area where it boosts that far. I'm hoping, but it might not. But let's just see. See, like the current load right now, okay, there it jumped, but like it wasn't too high for a while. It was like 360 watts total, so the current load was quite low for a second there. Around these scenes, it should boost further a little bit, somewhere around here. Okay, it didn't. Okay, so yeah, it's a bit jumpy, but it happens. So physics should be easy. This is 5-strike extreme physics. It's 73C right now on the CPU. So funny enough, this is actually about as heavy as the 5-strike ultra physics, which is interesting. Similar temps actually. I bet the best way to do 3DMark is to have like certain clock offsets, and then like literally test which scenes can do which clock, and then literally have your clocks dynamically adjust midway through test. That's got to be the best way to do it, because sometimes you're crashing at like certain frequencies in some areas, and sometimes not. Look at this. It was 2115 for 1.1 volts per second there. That was pretty cool. That was pretty interesting. That was actually really, really interesting. So sometimes you get these like little like moments where it hits like 1.1 volts, beautiful, and then you can hit like 2115 and be stable. That's what I assume would be around what you need for 2115. And that should validate, please. I mean, it's well into the number 1 spot, right? Now, disclaimer, this is number 1 for 13700K and 3080. We'll see if it's number 1 overall for 3080s later on in my follow-up video. So I'm going to name this result. Fire Strike Extreme. Times 5 times Extreme, Speedway, Port Royal, Fire Strike Ultra. Okay. We're gonna try a Fire Strike with this current offset and see if it runs. It might do, it might do. 125. Nice and cold, we'll go. And this might run. This may or may not run. If it doesn't run, then cool, I'll drop it down. But if it does run, then blessings, right? So the CPU hit 90C for a second there during validation. Like collecting system info. Literally it's 90C, dude. What the hell? 88C there as well. Oh my goodness, 95C for a second there. What the hell? Apparently, yeah, collecting system info is actually like the most heavy part of the test, like, well, for the CPU itself, right? But look, it's fine. Like, hitting 95C at like 1.34 volts, like for like a split second, is fine. It's not gonna kill the chip, dude. Like, there isn't enough. The overhead on the voltage is not high enough. It's not gonna oxide breakdown. It's not like worth worrying about. But obviously, you don't want to be hitting 95C like consistently. That would be bad. I've actually noticed the main issue happens when you run like a heavy stress test, like Y-Cruncher component stress tester, that hits like, you know what I'm saying, like hits like your CPU at like 95C, 100C, at like what, 300 amps almost, like 300, like, yeah, like 250 amps maybe, like, yeah, 200, 250 amps, man, and then you're running at like, you know what, like, you know, 1.35 volts at like 250 amps, and then you're running like 95C. Yeah, and then you're running it like overnight. You know, that's gonna degrade you. That's gonna degrade you a little bit. But you know, running stupid settings for like, you know, 5 seconds is completely calm, totally calm. I do want to take care of this GPU though. So let me finish off testing. You know, as soon as I finish this. I'm not gonna be messing around too much after this. I usually do one batch of these and then never again. I'm not even like, oh, it's 10C in the morning one day, oh, let's do some. No. One batch, done and dusted, see what you get, and that is it. Move on, you know. No need to put the card under heavy strain for like more than one run. You know, just do your test. I mean, I used to do what, 1, 2, 3. So it's Time Spy, Extreme, Fire Strike, Extreme, Ultra, and then Port Royal. That's 6 tests. Now I have 7 because I do Speedway as well now because I bought Speedway. 7 tests, man. It takes like what, an hour and a half, whatever. This was half an hour video, so I mean, it's taking less time than that, maybe like an hour even. So an hour of nonsense, and yeah, look at that. So an hour of nonsense, an hour of shenanigans, an hour of buffoonery, and that's it, you know, and you're done. So 137 frames in that portion of Fire Strike, man. You know, there was a time where we used to run that test and hit like 20 frames. I'm not even kidding. 20 frames, dude. Like back when I started in computers, bro, like damn, 20 frames. Legendary! Yay! So what was that, guys? Like, how many legendaries was that? How many? All of them. Every single one. Legendary. Yeah, I mean, realistically speaking, how many 13700K 3080 owners are there in the world right now? Probably not that many, right? Well, testing Fire Strike and, you know, other 3DMark benchmarks. Well, okay, I'm gonna end the video now. This is way too long, so I will check you guys in the discussion video. Yay!